Hi, I'm Gabriel of Black Force Comics, and this is Black Force Comics Weekly Review, episode number 26, and I know this time it is for real, episode 26. I double-checked. Thank you. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to talk about comics that came out last week, as well as some comics that are going to be coming out this week that you should be checking out, and some geeky news at the end. So let's get started with last week's comics. Up first, Mighty Thor number 4. Now this series has been receiving a lot of flack. A lot of people aren't happy with the whole Marvel changing genders and races for a lot of their characters. I, for one, really enjoy this so far. I understand why, not personally, but I can really appreciate the sacrifice that Jane Foster, spoiler alert, if you didn't know that the new Thor was Jane Foster, you should have. That was like last year that they revealed it. She is dying of cancer. And every time she takes on the mantle of Thor, she picks up Mjolnir, she loses all the cancer treatment that she had taken place, all the dialysis she went through. Whenever she takes on that hammer and that mantle, all that stuff gets filtered out of her body. All the magical essence of being an Asgardian cleanses her of whatever medicine she has in her body, and she continues to put herself through pain and suffering and essentially dying to be this character. Now what's happening right now is there's a civil war, sort of unrest on Asgard with the High Father putting Freya on trial. And now what's happening is Thor is fighting the Dark Elves on another elf plane, and while this is going on, Malekith is kind of making this distraction so Thor won't go back to Asgard and defend Freya. Turns out Thor realizes, you know what, I need to get back to Asgard and defend Freya, and she does just that. And towards the end, here's one of the coolest things. She totally hits the Allfather with the hammer. And so next issue, you know what's going to come up. It's going to be a battle. There's a gunfight. Okay, not really a gunfight, but you get the idea. It's going to be a fight. All right, second. Long name, Standoff, Welcome to Pleasant Hill. Now this one's going to be the next Marvel crossover story arc, which we'll go into later on another episode with these crossovers and all that. This is the new crossover that Marvel's doing with all their Avengers, all their X-Men, all their whatever they have. They're crossing over with this event called Standoff on Pleasant Hill. And what this is, you know, at first I was like, another crossover event, do we really need it? I started reading it and I was like, it's all right. I got halfway through. It's a rather large book. I got about halfway through it and I was hooked on it. And then at the very end, oh my gosh, mine was blown. This is a really great book. This is only a one-shot, so you need to get out and get it right now. It's only a one-shot, and it's going to explain to you the crossover event that's going to happen. And I'll tell you, it has a lot to do with S.H.I.E.L.D. and reformation of criminals. Those criminals of criminals. It's a reformation of criminal. I said it again. Criminals. They're trying to reform these criminals on this place called Pleasant Hill. And Maria Hill is in charge of it because, you know, she's the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you weren't happy with the direction of Maria Hill in the movies or say some of the earlier comics, check her out now. She's pretty BA, so check it out. All right, next up, this one right here. I know I harp on Harley Quinn a lot, and this is exactly why, right here. In this issue, for all you people that think they had the best relationship, in this issue right here, she finally calls it off completely with the Joker. And how does she do such a thing, you ask? Well, she's getting her boyfriend Mason out of Arkham Asylum because his life is threatened in there. And so she goes to Arkham Asylum and breaks him out. And in doing so, the Joker is there. The Joker was Mason's neighbor and telling him all this stuff that he used to do with this girl. And Joker knew who Mason was, and Joker knew what he was doing. Mason had no idea who Joker was talking about, nor that it was Joker next to him in the cell. And so Harley Quinn's breaking out Mason, and Joker just starts blah, 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 ha, ha, to Harley Quinn. And she tells Mason, don't listen to him. It's the past. It's not who I am anymore. And then she's finally like, you know what, just wait right here. I'm going to go handle some business. She goes in there, and stuff happens, and she ends up fighting the Joker, and she ends up beating the snot out of him and just leaving him there bleeding. And that's what she says, I'm just going to leave you here bleeding. Don't ever mess with me or my family anymore. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like that. I like this new take on Harley Quinn. I like the way she's an independent person now. You go, Harley Quinzel. You're pretty awesome. So there's that. Check it out. It's a good one. It's a good issue. Batman appears in it at the very end. Poison Ivy stole the Batboat and took it to go pick up Mason and Harley Quinn. She takes it back to the dock, and there's Batman standing there. I'm disappointed in you, Poison Ivy. And he tells Harley Quinn, you got to take him back. It's the right thing to do, because Batman understands now that Harley Quinn is actually kind of a anti-hero. She's trying to do good from now on. From this point on, she's been doing good. So she's trying to do good. She still kills people because she's kind of like the Deadpool of DC. So yeah, that's Harley Quinn, and Joker convinces her, you got to take him back. Spend a little bit of time with him right now. Give your hugs. Send him back. So they do that. Yeah, they send off. It's very good. All right. Also, next up, Twilight Zone. This is a one-shot, 1959. So this issue is kind of a nod back to the way that things were in the late 50s, early 60s. A lot of teaching about acceptance and other things in this issue. I just like Twilight Zone. I think you should like it too. It's pretty awesome. I got my kids on it when they were young. So please read it. All right. Next up, Snowfall #1 from Image Comics. Now this is a pretty interesting comic. I have to admit, I didn't know what to expect when I first saw it. I kind of read the synopsis of it when it was online on Diamond's Previews, and this is a pretty awesome comic. So what happened, it's the year 2045, and we have lost control of the weather. There's been droughts everywhere, so the governments have gotten together and really have been bought out by corporations. One corporation in particular called Hazeltine, and these large corporations have made resettlement states or resettlement cities where now all of the citizens live. So you have several different resettlement cities throughout the whole world or throughout the whole US, because most of the other land is either barren or just completely incapable of sustaining life because of what we did to the weather. So we have made a way to control the weather. It hasn't snowed naturally in, a few years or so, over a couple of decades, but back when it last snowed, man-made snow, there was a resistance. There was some kind of man that was creating snow, and he was creating it in a bad way, and it was hurting people. So now we're fast forwarding to, I think it was 10 or 20 years to 2045 again, and this gentleman is now, we're going to call him the Weather Wizard for a lack of a name. We don't know his name yet. The Weather Wizard is now back in New York, in the new resettled New York, and he's causing snow to come down. There's government people or corporation people chasing them, their bodyguards or whatever, chasing down this man. He ends up killing them all at the very end. There's a college student who's trying to hunt him down, ends up finding who he is on a moisture farm, and his name was Luke Skywalker. No, it's not. It's not really a moisture farm. But yeah, he has some kind of farm. And he finds the guy, and he tells the guy, I know who you are, I know who you were, and the guy starts torturing him. And then the guy realizes that's not who I am. He sees a video clip of what he just did the previous night as the Weather Wizard, and that he killed this little girl. I mean, it's pretty graphic. So, but it's a really good story. It's a really good story. Really looking forward to reading it, seeing where they're going with it. So check it out. Snowfall, issue #1. Sunday, the 20, whatever this Sunday is that this video is coming out, in Dragon's Lair in San Antonio, the writer, Joe Harris, is actually going to be at Dragon's Lair in San Antonio signing copies. So we are actually going to be there as attendees to get this copy autographed by Mr. Joe Harris. So if you're not doing nothing, go check it out. Last up, Ice King for Adventure Time Comics, for the kids comic. It's a really good comic. Ice King is trying to be cool. Turns out he's trying to be cool because he wants to get accepted into this whole another wizard thing where they accept wizards based on how cool they are. So if you have Adventure Time, or you have kids that like Adventure Time, or if you as an adult like Adventure Time, I like Adventure Time, check out the Ice King issue #2. It's only 6 issues. Now, quick shout out before we go into this coming week's issues is to single moms. We got Spider-Woman and Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Cycle of Death #2, and then Spider-Woman #4. In both of these issues, they both have babies. And you know what? It's a beautiful thing. So check it out. I like Spider-Woman. So yeah, check them out. Now, this week's comics coming up. All right, so just a few comics we're going to talk about real quick. there's a whole bunch of number 5s coming out from Marvel. We got all new Wolverine number 5, all new X-Men number 5, Angela Queen of Hell number 5, all new Inhumans number 4. Nope, I'm sorry, that was last week. All new Different Avengers number 6. Art Ops. It's not from Marvel, but it's a great comic. It's from Vertigo Comics. Art Ops number 5 is coming out, so it's worth reading. It's a really interesting take on art and the way we perceive it. So check it out. Back to the Future number 5 of 5. So this is going to conclude the short series of Back to the Future that just came out. Also, we have Black Magic number 5, a story about a witch who works for a detective agency who is being hunted down and killed just as her ancestors were. It's pretty awesome. Check it out. Black Magic number 5. Bloodshot Reborn number 11 for all my Valiant fans out there. Cyborg number 8 because there are some Cyborg fans. Number 8's coming out. Death Head number 6 of 6. This is the conclusion of the Death Head series. Really great series. Only 6 issues. Go get the past issues. Go get 1 through 5. Get number 6. It's a really great series. Worth it. The graphic novel is going to be coming out shortly. So if you don't want to get that, you just want to get the graphic novel, we can do that too. Deathstroke number 15 has been a good series. Faith number 2. This is going to be a short run, only 4-issue series from Valiant. Faith is a female character from Valiant who, you know what, just get the issue. It's a great comic. I like it. Then again, I like a lot of the comics. I'm biased. Sorry. On the comic shop. Ghostbusters International number 2. This is another short 4-part series. Ghostbusters International number 2. The Goddamn number 3, which has been phenomenal. Grayson number 17. Hercules number 4, because my son would be sad if I didn't mention it. Judge Dredd number 3. This is the new ongoing series of Judge Dredd. Justice League 3001 number 9, which is a really great take on looking at the Justice League in the future. We can go on another issue about that one, but you know, check it out. It's a great story. Mythic number 7 has been a great story. I like to read it. I think I'm one of the few people that do read it. It's from Image Comics. It's a really great story. Rick and Morty number 11 for all you Rick and Morty fans. Spawn number 261. Superman, Lois, and Clark, another good story from DC. I have to say that I have been disappointed with DC's stories of late, but this one's been really good. So check it out. Teen Titans number 17 as well. And Venom Space Knight number 44. So that's kind of covering some of the highlights that are coming out this week. Let's talk about the news. First up in this week's news, Zack Snyder posted a post on Twitter of him and Aquaman Jason Momoa, that guy. And in the background, they had all the pictures of the costumes. And they had the Flash costume in there and the Batman costume in there. And the Flash costume kind of looked like the Flash from the TV show. So, I mean, it wasn't that exciting, but there it was. Ah! Check it out. Also, some photos from the Doctor Strange movies have come out with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. And it's been really great. Yes, I said Cumberbatch. That's what I call him. Because I was very hesitant about Doctor Strange because he was one of the few characters that I could semi-successfully cosplay. Being Hispanic, there's not very many. But Benedict he looks pretty good as Doctor Strange, I have to admit. Also, for all my Walking Dead fans, Jesus is here. He came out in this past Sunday's episode. It was great, and he was just like the comic Jesus, so I appreciated that even more. So it's really good because we know what's coming up next. It's Jesus. How can you not love Jesus? Jesus loves you. All right. Also, one last thing. For those of you who like to, actually two last things. For those of you who watch the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, Grant Ward has been confirmed that he is now Hive. If you are not familiar with who Hive is, H-I-V-E, he is a genetically created experiment by Hydra. It's a bunch of parasites that take on the essence and memories of whatever they absorb. And so now they are taking on who Grant Ward was. So that's kind of what's going to go on with S.H.I.E.L.D. It's been a good show. I've really enjoyed it. You got to remember, TV shows have a lower budget than these big movie productions do. So they're doing the best with the amount of money that they can. It's been good so far. And lastly, for those of you in the Dallas area, it was just confirmed that Peter Capaldi, Dr. 12/13, is going to make his first U.S. debut at the Dallas Expo. That's right, peeps. The 12th/13th Doctor is going to make his U.S. debut at the Dallas Fan Expo in whenever it comes out. So if you're a big Doctor Who fan, go check it out. It comes out June 3rd through the 5th is when the Dallas Fan Expo is. So check it out. All right, lastly, Black Forest Comics is partnering with Creekside Theater in New Braunfels, and we are selling tickets to the Superman vs. Batman premiere. Now, what you get when you buy the tickets from us, you're going to be buying them from us as well as 2 other local businesses. When you buy the tickets from us, you're going to get a swag bag once you enter the movie theater, as well as a button saying who you like the most, who you're here for. We're going to have 4 different buttons, one for Wonder Woman, one for Batman, one for Superman, and one for Lex Luthor, because there's somebody's out there who's going to want a Lex Luthor button. So come join us. It's going to be at the Creekside Theater in New Braunfels, and we are currently selling the tickets now. So come on down, get those tickets early. We have the center seats a little bit higher because, you know, they're better seats. So come get those. They're a little bit higher price, but come in. Those are very limited. We're only having 140 seats. That's it, 140 seats, and they're gone. So come in, get those tickets right away. All right, we'll see you next week.